Walk me through how you would recommend a business owner does a thumbnail that's captivating.
Okay, so let's look at it from this simple, eye-opening opinion. Every single potential viewer will see your thumbnail, but hardly anybody will see the last 30 seconds, 30% of your video, and nobody will ever see your video tags. So if that helps to, educate you on what might be the most important things to look at, it's a start. I would also recommend this just as a general idea. If you're making your thumbnails as you're uploading the video, it's too late. So try as a concept, this can be very hard, and I sometimes find it's very hard to do myself. Try making the thumbnail before you press record, if that's possible. And also coming up with like 3 or 4 titles as well. Those are like, I guess, the mindset approaches to thumbnails. But when you get to the construct of a thumbnail itself, I would say spend twice as long on your thumbnail as you currently are. So if you're spending 15 minutes on a thumbnail, spend half an hour on your next thumbnail, and make your thumbnails half as complicated as they currently are, because what people tend to do is over-explain in their thumbnails. They try and tell you everything, whereby it's best just to try and convey the strongest emotion or the strongest concept. So again, going back to the idea of how to write a perfect title, the way to overcomplicate this is to write a bad title on one side of a thumbnail and then a good title on the other side of a thumbnail, and have view counts and before and after and whatnot. And already the potential viewer is having to spend 3 to 5 seconds trying to decode a thumbnail. Whereas a simpler option might be you just have a before and after, and one has like 10 views and another one has 100,000 views. You don't need to explain the why at that point. You just need to get them emotionally invested. And then, in the first 10 to 15 seconds, the hook can reveal a solution, which is writing good titles. Also, think about how many elements there are in a thumbnail. When I mean elements, let's say if you look, well, this is again not good for an audio podcast, but right now, Eli, you can see me. I'm one element. The background is another element. But then you can also see like there's some text up here. There's these YouTube icons to the left and right of me. There's probably too many elements already. So try to get it to a main object or person of focus, a fairly clean, plain background, and then maybe some text or another object. So we're talking about 3 or 4 elements at most there. And then always remember, the final thing to remember is you may be designing your thumbnail on a 42-inch widescreen PC monitor, but everybody else sees it at about, 2 inches by 1 inch. So like the detail you add to a thumbnail may never be seen. And the more colors you add just ends up being muddy and washy. I mean, we could obviously go into the thumbnail conversation in minute detail, but I think those are the fundamentals from what I can remember.
So that's great advice. And I think there's probably 2 different types of audience that are listening to this. One is like brand new. I'm just getting into YouTube. Everything you just said, it fits perfect into that. The second one is I have a YouTube channel. I have lots of videos on there. How often do I go back and analyze the thumbnails and decide, do I redo it to see if I can like get it going again? Does that still work? I know a couple of years ago that used to be a strategy.
So I think the test and compare, A/B thumbnail testing, has helped with this a little bit in that I'm always thinking about the next video rather than trying to rescue and save all content. Okay. Because it can be hard to do that typically. But what you can do is, let's say you're continuing to try variants on new videos with thumbnails, and you find a particular style of thumbnail that works really well, and you think, I'm going to use that style of thumbnail going forward. Cool. Then maybe think about previous videos which you think are still valuable today. That's really important. And, not all videos are valuable today as when they were published. And then also check the analytics and say, well, this video had some really positive comments. The people who actually watched it found it really valuable. And it has, higher than average view duration. The human response and the data response suggests that there is still something here in this video. So what I am going to do is devote some time to making a thumbnail for this video. Or the alternative is you say, I'm going to remake this video with the skills I've improved on the whole as a creator, but then also applying that new thumbnail design as well.
I love that. I love that. Instead of going back and saying, now I have data showing this works, I'm not going to go and redo thumbnails for the last 50 videos. I'm going to go look at the videos that have done well and then make it better, because now I'm 50 videos into it. I'm better at making videos. I understand how to script better. And then I'm going to use that thumbnail format on that one. I like that. I like that approach.
I should also add as well, it doesn't mean that you should delete private or old videos that haven't performed well. I think a lot of creators, especially when they start out, are worried that their channel's made of glass. And so like any mistakes, that's it. That isn't the case. I've seen many channels that have been resurrected. And if you look at Mr. Beast's first 100 videos that he still has on the channel, they are atrocious, but they're still there. And now he's the largest content creator on the planet.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click here. If you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.